Hey guys, it's Carrie Creation, and it's been a little while since I've done a video, but I'm pushing through trying to get this one done in time to go up, and when it comes up, and I'm sorry it's been such a long wait. But I've decided what I'm going to do is a 3-color challenge today, but I want to make it just a little bit easier on myself. Like, not easier, but let me just explain. I have this picture here that I did on stream, and I'm so proud of it. I'm so happy with it. I adore it. And I think it turned out really well. And if you want, you can watch the stream. If not, that's fine, because today I'm going to randomly generate 3 colors, and we're going to recolor this from the lineup up with just those 3 colors. Now, I'm going to give myself just a little bit of slack, and I'm going to say that I'm allowed to use white for highlights, and I'm allowed to use a, darkish, desaturated purple for shading, because that just makes my life easier. But the majority of this I want to do with 3 colors, and I'm hoping that I can get that done with either overlaying it over white and lightening it, the opacity of it, or heightening the opacity of it so that it's more of the natural color for it. But we'll just see how this goes, because this is kind of an experiment and I'm so excited to see how this turns out. So let's get into it. Alright, so here is the random color generator I'm going to use. These 3 colors are not what I've generated. I've set it to 3 colors because it starts off with just the one. All I did was I did Google, random color generator, and clicked the first one that came up. So this is what we're going with. Ready? Let's generate those colors. Now, I'm wondering how I want to do this. If I want to just click and go with it, or if I want to close my eyes, click a couple times and go with it. But let's just hope for the good of the universe. 1 click, let's go. Okay, so we've got a moss grey, a green beige, and a signal brown. Now, what I really like about this site specifically is it's giving me the hex codes and the RGB codes for it as well, so that I can either just take it from an eyedropper, or I can just set those in. Let's just do a wipe across and go into it. Okay, so originally what I did was I put in the RGB codes, which gave colors that weren't quite the same as what they were on the website. So I decided to stick with the squares that came up on the website, and that's what we're using. So the first thing I did was I lightened them down to an 80% opacity to get a couple of lighter shades to use for like the skin color and a couple of different things, because using just 3 colors is really hard. But technically it's still the same color. I said I was going to lighten the opacity for certain things, and I did that. And I do have just another little confession to make. I goofed. I goofed real bad. I messed this up so bad because I did all of the colors for this, and I was going through it and I was doing it and I was having a great time. I loved how it was turning out. And then I got to a point where I'm like, okay, what am I going to do about the shading now? And I looked over and I hadn't hit record. So what you're seeing now is my second attempt at this. So I already knew where I wanted to place all the colors and how I wanted to do that part of it. So I zoomed through this process. I got it done real quick, and it's a sped up version that you're seeing here, but even then it was pretty quick because I didn't have to think about it or mess around with it or make it like I knew what I wanted. So I goofed, and I've done this twice now, but we got there. We got there. So what I did for this one was I had to accept that this is not going to look the same. Obviously, it's the same line art, but it's not going to be the same picture because this is a whole different vibe now with different colors. And can I just say, I love these earthy tones that I got given. Like, I'm lucky. These are great colors and they fit really well, but not for a space theme. So I really had to, I felt like I had to rethink that, Because, I tried. The first time I did this, I tried to do, the same sort of space background, and I was just like, but it doesn't look like space. It looks like a forest. So, that's what we're gonna get in this one at the end of it. And you can see here, I've gone back to the full opacity colors, and we're just putting it in. And like I said, I knew where I wanted to put everything because I'd already done it once before. oh, like a goober, but that's okay. It just kind of, like I said, it just made this process a lot quicker for me. So you just get to watch me confidently put down colors for the first time. Like, okay, there's a lot of characters where I can confidently put down the colors, but that's because I already spent all the time agonizing over it. So this time I was like, all right, let's just get it done. And we did. Now, I debated here, the first time I did it, I debated here whether I give her colored pupils or not, because the character that is in this picture, Safi, doesn't have, like, pupils or irises. She has eye implants, because it's a sci-fi thing. And it's not, obviously with this coloration, it's not Safi, because these are not her colors. But I didn't want to I didn't want to add to the lineup. That wasn't part of the challenge, so I decided to just leave it as white, and whatever happened, happened. Now this is where I get a little bit cheaty, I guess. Because after I do this background, I was like, especially the first time, and I'm so glad I didn't go through and do all the shading for the first time that I did this, because it was right before I started shading that I looked over and saw I wasn't recording. So what I decided to do instead was I was like, I already have shading that I'm happy with. I'm going to do it in the same tones that I did it in the same direction. So I do cheat a little bit and I just take the shadows from the original artwork. But, you know, make your life easier. Like, art doesn't have to be hard. It is hard, but it doesn't have to be, not all the time. So even in the background here, I'm trying to use only the colors that the generator allowed me to use, with white and that desaturated purple shadows. So I'm kind of making, like, I think they're called like birch trees. I know they're not really brown, but I kind of wanted that sort of pattern on them. And I realized in hindsight, I've got this beautiful gray that I could have used to make it more of like a birch tone. But I was like, never mind. I also chose to make my life easier by using this inbuilt leaf brush. But obviously it doesn't fit all the colors, so I recolored them all. Just the same color, just to get that texture that I wanted, to like allude to leaves in this foresty scape. And I look over at the moment, even now I'm looking over at the recording being like, okay, yes, it's recording. Okay, I don't want to do this again. But we got there. And I'm actually like, it's such a weird sensation, because I look at it and I'm like, but that's not my character. But it is, and I like how it turns out. I do. I really like the look of it. But, you know, I don't know. I like the original better, I will say, but that's because it does have that familiarity to me. So we took that. This is just me putting the shadows and the highlights on. I just, again, took them straight from the original picture, because at this point I was starting to get a little bit tired and I already had them. Use it. If you've got it, use it. So I decided for the last, like, little details of this, I wanted to add some more, like, colors to the reflective parts of the glass. I like the way that the highlights look a lot more in the original. I don't know what it is, it just doesn't hit the same here, and I think it's because I forgot to bring over some of the highlights, but that's fine. The last touch I wanted to put on this was like some glowy lights. If you've watched any of my videos or streams, you've probably started to pick up that I just love chucking this in as a final detail, because it's a little bit magical and I like it. And there's nothing wrong with just adding in something that you like. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But we got to the point where this is the finished image, and I am really happy with it. But if you compare it to the original, I do like the original a lot more. But I'm also it just shows what you can go to do with just 3 colors. Like, I love a limited color palette. I like how it brings it all together, and it becomes one cohesive image. Even in the original, you can see that I didn't use like a lot of color. I don't use a full spectrum of color. I do like limited color palettes. So if you ever want me to do a video on how I pick colors and things like that, I haven't done any courses on colour theory or anything like that. It's just something that I do. I don't know, I just do what feels right. But if you want a video on something like that, maybe let me know down in the comments. And if you're not already subscribed, I am trying so hard to get back into uploading videos. I do stream every week. This weekend was a bit of a misnomer because it was actually my birthday. Yeah. And if you're liking the video, maybe hit a like and all of that other jazz, because I'm bad at wrapping up videos, but I'm really glad for everyone. I really appreciate everyone who watches these videos, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!